You know, the fish story is one that runs, you know, it's ancient history, it's modern history, it's everything.
Anadromous fish play a very important role in the Yankee Fork watershed.
We have the history of how the native people use the fish here.
It goes back, way back.
Historically.
The tribes have been coming up to this area for hundreds of years to collect, you know, seasonal fish.
The fact that the fish have to come a total of 900 miles all the way up this river to get to this river basin.
I can remember as a boy catching salmon almost every day we went fishing.
We have the Dredge Association that is very concerned with the historic landscape that we have here.
Well, there's got to be room for everybody up on the Yankee Fork.
Because what we have so many diverse groups.
I've been a fishing guide for 33 years, and I'm always amazed by the incredible tenacity of these fish. They need to be given a chance, and they'll do the rest on their own.
It's an ongoing story. Fish and human interaction on the Yankee Fork are intertwined, and they need to be intertwined, and it'll continue in the future.
High in the upper Salmon Basin of Idaho, winding through a rugged mountain region, lies the Yankee Fork of the Salmon River. A river that has historically been a major contributor in the production of anadromous and resident fish, including salmon, steelhead, and bull trout.
So anadromous fish have a very important role in the Yankee Fork watershed in that as adults they travel to the Yankee Fork, they spawn, and then they die. Those carcasses decompose and add nutrients to the system, which in turn creates a food chain starting from aquatic bugs on up to small fish, on up to larger fish, on up to, say, birds of prey. And we've been missing that component for quite a few years now.
In 1875, William Norton made the first significant gold find on the Yankee Fork near Jordan Creek. Over the next 75 years, fortunes were made and lost, communities built and abandoned. The pursuit of the precious element continues to shape and reshape the landscape.
This is like it's a physical history book. This is where we can study what occurred and what will continue to occur unless we learn something about it.
In the 1940s and 50s, the Yankee Fork dredge dug up nearly 7 miles of river, altering the course of the stream and changing its delicate ecosystems.
Essentially, the dredge would come and scoop up and turn the river upside down, where the stuff at the very bottom of the riparian area is now on top, and the stuff that was on top is now at the bottom.
At the time, the 988-ton digging machine represented state-of-the-art engineering. With the U.S. coming out of a major depression and entering into World War II, the gold recovered by the Yankee Fork dredge helped fund the war effort and feed Idaho families.
26 loads of gravel that fell in here down the chute, went all through this. Down the center of it is a large, about a 6-inch water pipe.
This is the only dredge in the lower 48 that you can actually walk into, touch, feel, and get a sense of how a dredge operated.
Right now, people that have never seen these kind of operations can visualize, you know, what this dredge did.
The dredge and tailings represent an important chapter in Idaho's history, a period of time that changed the natural characteristics of the river. The lower section of the Yankee Fork is now too shallow. It lacks habitat diversity for fish. But it may also limit access for migrating salmon to the river's pristine upper reaches.
The fish returning to the area is very important to the Shoshone-Bannock tribes. It's culturally and traditionally significant. It's part of their subsistence, and it helps feed the people, and for cultural reasons, also for spiritual reason too.
Today, the Shoshone-Bannock Tribe and Trout Unlimited are working with state and federal natural resource agencies to assess existing conditions and to evaluate opportunities for fish habitat improvements on the Yankee Fork.
The dredge piles created somewhat of an entrenched channel where hydrologic energy is consolidated, and it took away a lot of the delicate habitat features that fish prefer to use for spawning and rearing purposes. And we would like to come in and investigate what is the potential to improve some of these attributes and some of these dredged reaches of the stream.
Improving spawning and rearing habitat on the Yankee Fork will help improve salmon and steelhead runs, restoring cultural identity to the Shoshone-Bannock. Improved salmon and steelhead runs also means big business for many surrounding communities.
It's going to help, with the small towns around here, because people are coming in, the tourists are coming in. I think it's going to be a win-win situation if the fish numbers do increase in the future.
But balancing historical and business interests with the needs of the fish remains a key challenge.
It's just an incredible thing to have them come back. People are really curious about them. There's the business side, though, of course, which means that when they have more salmon coming back, we have a salmon fishing season, and unfortunately for us, that has negative impacts on our rafting season. Just the more salmon that are coming back right now, there might be more restrictions on what we can do or when we can float the river, and that's a hard thing for us to deal with. But we loved having come back. I love seeing them up here.
The future of the Yankee Fork means so much to so many people, as well as wildlife, that any effort that could lead to a change in the physical, historical, or cultural characteristics in the valley requires a community-wide effort of collaboration and shared compromise. That's why a multi-agency community-wide effort is now underway. The goal of the Yankee Fork Tributary Assessment is to provide scientific information about the watershed and identify projects that will improve the river's function for resident and anadromous fisheries. At the same time, the project aims to retain and make possible the enhancement of historical, cultural, wildlife, ecosystem, and tourism values, all vital to the community.
I think we all have something in common, and we just need to work together and respect one another's history and culture. So I think it will work out.
We're not only preserving history, but I think fish recovery is also an important part of the history of the Yankee Fork itself, because the public did enjoy fishing, the salmon fishing up here before the dredge.
It'll be a long-standing effort. We'll have to do some collaboration. We'll have to do some compromising. But it's something that if we keep our eye on the prize, if we keep our eye on the end goal, which is to make the river, restore the river to prime spawning habitat, I think that we'll be able to really make a difference here, not just for any one group, for all of the groups. And that's what makes this a really fun project.
We've got a lot of wide diversity of interests. We have miners, we have loggers, we have recreationalists, we have outfitters. But to the man, everyone that I've spoken to has said the same thing. They'd like to see wild fish come back in numbers where it again is a viable and very robust fish system for everyone.
Please join us in the dialogue and make your voice heard to help shape a plan that will preserve the history and improve the future of the Yankee Fork of the Salmon River.